What up? This is your girl, Brook-Lynn from the block, back with another YouTube video. If you're new or if you've been here from day one, regardless, thank you guys for watching. Now, today is From the Block Friday. Now, if you don't know what From the Block Friday is, essentially From the Block Friday is when I go on Fridays around the block in my neighborhood, trying out different food trends and latest restaurants that have been hits that I've been hearing about on social media, and I have to try them and give a review to you guys so that you guys know what's the latest and greatest. All right? Sounds pretty good. Now, I've already reviewed a couple of restaurants in the past. So for as far as restaurant reviews, I'm going to release them on Fridays just so that you guys know. This restaurant that I've tried out a few days ago was AGAVE AZUL Cocina Mexicana Mexican restaurant off of Kirkman Road. Now, this is not the only location. However, it is a family-owned restaurant. They have about 5 or 6 other locations. I think they're trying to build up another one. And I think that's pretty cool. You know, I think that family-owned restaurants are really important, especially during this time. I don't want to support too many franchises, stuff like that. I want to know where my money is going. I heard that this place had off-menu birria tacos on their menu. It's so crazy. Like, I've been wanting to try them around. I wanted some authentic experience with them, right? And I know it's family owned, so I was like, if I'm going to eat Mexican, it's going to be at this place right here, okay? When we first went there, I already immediately enjoyed the ambiance. It was soft white lighting inside, but enough where you can see everything. It was clean, it was efficient, everyone was wearing masks, everyone was in their proper uniform, everyone looked one and the same as a unit. And then we went in and I wanted a specific table, so we waited like 2 minutes and then we got to our table. As soon as we got to our table, we were immediately given fresh chips and salsa. After that, hey, do you guys want any drinks, whatever, any extra time to look at the menu? No wait time at all, okay? Normally when I sit at a restaurant, a lot of times if it's busier, they can, you know, there's like a little bit of a wait time between the time that you sit down and the time that you get your orders taken. No wait time whatsoever. She introduced herself. She's very sweet. She's very nice. And then she took our drink order. After the chips and salsa were pretty good. The chips were nice, light, and fresh and crisp. They weren't too flimsy or too thin to the point where they just kind of just dissipate in your mouth type deal. And the salsa was pretty good. I could tell they make it in-house. It didn't taste like it wasn't fresh, but it was a little bit salty, but other than that, it was pretty good. All right, so no, not that many complaints there. The steak tostadas was the first thing that we had. So when it came out, it looked really nice. It was on one plate, but we had 2 side plates to share and to use. So there was like a regular tortilla layer, then it was steak, then it was like a crispy cheese layer. Delicious. On top of the cheese layer was diced avocado, cotija cheese, and I believe pico. Very fresh, very light, very fitting for an appetizer. The steak was seasoned extremely well. Wasn't over seasoned or anything like that, in my opinion. It was exactly how steak is supposed to be seasoned. I just wish that the steak pieces were just a little bit smaller for easier consumption, because when you take one bite out of it or cut into it, it's like a whole chunk of steak that's coming out. It's a very hearty appetizer. Just a little bit smaller pieces for the steak would have been fitting for the both of us. For our entrees, Cass ordered steak chimichangas, and I ordered the off-menu birria taco. The wait time was probably 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes. It wasn't long at all. So that's pretty good. I mean, the restaurant wasn't super busy, but it was enough. It was like enough flow in the restaurant. When I got my birria taco plate or platter, I would say, the presentation was awesome. I was instantly taken aback on how they presented their menu option. The burrito tacos was on a wooden platter. It's like a very rustic vibe. The burrito tacos were sitting on a banana leaf. And along with the burrito tacos, it was 3 tacos with the barbacoa beef brisket inside the tacos. It came with the broth, and it also came with rice, beans, and a tomatillo salsa. For Cass, he ordered the steak chimichanga, and on the top of the steak chimichanga was the guacamole, sour cream, pico, and it came with rice as well. The food tasted amazing. So for the steak chimichanga, we'll start with Cass' option. I made the pico, the sour cream, because it gave like a freshness to what would be a normally heavier dish. The guacamole he liked, but he wished that there was just more things added to the guacamole. It just tasted like it was just avocado in it, maybe a little bit of onion, but that was it. There was no tomato, there was no cilantro inside the guacamole. So maybe something added to the guacamole would suffice, and he also wished that the toppings were on the side of the chimichanga so it didn't make the tortilla soggy. For the burrito tacos, it was my first time eating them. So it was a different experience for me altogether. Now the tacos are held in the corn tortilla. The corn tortilla was not as crispy as I thought it was. The edges were crispy, but the middle of it was pretty soft. It still had some structure to it and color, so that was nice. The broth I thought would be more brothy, like soupy, but it wasn't. It was more oily, and I understand why that is. It makes sense because that's the same liquid that the beef is cooked in. The burrito tacos also came with a tomatillo salsa, and the tomatillo salsa also had onions and I believe jalapeno in it. This tomatillo salsa was very flavorful. It packed a punch, and I could taste a little bit of a jalapeno. It wasn't too overbearing. The onion added a nice kick to it as well. The dish is very onion forward, but not so much that it overpowers everything else on the platter. When I first looked at the beans didn't have any saucy component to them or any liquid that it was in. So at first I thought the beans were dry, but the beans were complete opposite of that, okay? The beans were very good, very flavorful, probably one of the more flavorful things on the platter. Overall, I think that the burrito tacos could have added a little bit more seasoning to the beef. Maybe a lot of it was like cooked off or something like that. It was still very good. I'm not saying it was bad at all. It was very delicious. Just a little bit more salt, but overall it was very delicious. Now, if you don't know me already, you should know that I am a huge fan of margaritas. Now, a lot of their drinks are tequila based, which is nice. When we tried the raspberry margarita, Cass made a note that said that the tequila wasn't super overpowering, because tequila in drinks can get real medicine-y real fast. It could taste really strong within a drink. But the sweetness of the raspberry flavor inside the frozen margarita helped the flavor of the drink. So it was pretty balanced drink. The only thing I would say that was a little bit of a red flag was when we were getting our plates and stuff cleared from our table. They had like a cart that they carried the plates and stuff on, and they took the plates and put it on the cart, and she was like organizing them and stuff like that. So it was a bit noisy and a little bit distracting from our experience. And then when they cleaned the table while we were still sitting at the table with a wet cloth, and they were being very sanitary. It's just when they did it, there was food on the table, and they kind of flung food in our direction. Flung food in our direction a little bit. I mean, I don't think it was intentional, but it was still a little bit like, okay. But other than that, it was a great experience with the service. Despite all of that, I give it an 8 out of 10, which means you guys should definitely definitely, if you're trying to go out somewhere and which is safe and nice and they observe social distancing and things of that nature, definitely check out their food. Very flavorful, and I would suggest it. You know, it doesn't taste commercial at all. Very enjoyable experience. I hope you take into account everything I've said today. I hope this was a very helpful from the Black Friday restaurant review. Thank you guys so much, and I will keep you posted on more things. Stay tuned, and I love you guys. Peace.